Just take a look at these recent headlines. It is obvious that major powers are now pushing it to the max in building, piling, and even amending their constitutions, or even nuclear doctrines in anticipation towards the worst-case scenarios in the years to come. Perhaps the 2024's annual hexagram of abundance may have already depicted of what to expect this year. What else can we relate to the context of abundance hexagram? Yes, overcapacity has also been one of the keywords in 2024, which incidentally matches to the 2024's abundance hexagram. While the Chinese character of abundance itself may have various definitions, I personally see that the shape of this Chinese character may have another underlying meaning, which actually resembles the image of an ancient Chinese siege weapon called the whirlwind trebuchet if we can see from a deeper perspective. This was once used as a defensive weapon in launching lime and sulfur bombs. Then, in the context of 2024's recent global headlines, I try to figure out what else can be found within this Chinese character of abundance. I was wondering, is there any hidden word that could be related to the ongoing and escalating global geopolitical tensions? Based on the context of global geopolitics, I finally concluded that the hidden link towards the worst-case scenario is when the arrows start to fly from the launcher. I then started to connect the dots when I realized that there is a Chinese character that consists of a combination between an arrow and bin. Now, we can see that all it takes for this particular ancient weapon to be fully functional is the availability of the arrows, which can be then combined to the sulfur and lime bombs. In our modern world, it is when the missiles are fitted with warheads. And to my surprise, just right before I posted this video, I came across a recent video that has its title stating a direct correlation between missiles and bins. Anyway, talking about geopolitics and imminent conflicts between military powers, I think it is harder by the day and in the coming years for us not to hear or relate anything to this. Because from 2024 onwards until the end of 2033, herein lies the depiction of meeting hexagram, which now becomes the ruling hexagram for the next 10 years that may provide some impressions to what we can expect in terms of global happenings and trends. This hexagram consists of 5 yang lines that looks like piling the pressure on the one and only yin line at the bottom. Consequently, the top trigram of Qian partly symbolizes dominance, power, and authority, and the bottom trigram of Xin can be seen as wind and storm, which could leave a trail of havoc across various boundaries. It is a reality now that major geopolitical shifts could be more intense from now on, and that major powers are jostling for authority, power, and influence while holding the upper hand to inflict havoc towards nations who are not aligned to them. And by going at the current rate towards 2025, many of the alarm bells have been slowly triggered, whereby the signs have shown that missiles are set to be delivered and ready to be deployed together with warheads. Why is this so? In my opinion, this is due to the fact that 2025's annual hexagram is known as reform, and the shape of its Chinese character, which inadvertently illustrates the arrow being in place and is ready to be launched from the bow. Okay, some may say that this is not the most fitting Chinese character to explain this. However, let's now deep dive into the 2025 annual hexagram of reform. In this slide, the upper trigram of Dui metal implies a sharp metal sitting atop, while the fire hexagram now sits at the bottom. And if we couple both the ruling hexagram of 44, where dominance and airborne are the keywords, this perhaps gives more credence to the fulfillment of 2025's reform hexagram, that is akin to a missile with an open-ended top ready to be fitted and fired with various warheads. Another indicator that points to this potential danger is through the annual Bazi of 2025. The stamps at the day and hour pillar consist of the character of Gui. The shape of the character clearly depicts the wings soaring up on the sky. Likewise, the grey water itself at the day pillar has the potential to combine with Wu Earth at the month pillar and transform into a fire element. Call this a coincidence. Here's also another aspect that we may want to take note. That is the possibility of natural disaster with a wide-ranging impact in 2025. Clearly, the two corresponding hexagrams indicate two active lines, especially at the Earth spectrum. This is more so when the annual hexagram denotes volatility underwater. Hence, you may want to be more prudent in planning for your travels throughout 2025 because the potential of major seismic activities seems to be more prevalent in 2025 if we are referring to the two correlating hexagrams. Besides the image of the annual hexagram, here is a trivial observation that has no basis to any of the classics written in the past. While observing the Chinese character of reform, I chanced upon a correlation between the Chinese reform character and the past cultural revolution in China. This is where I presumably read it as the 21st week of the year, and guess what? The Chinese Cultural Revolution coincidentally started on the 21st week in the year of 1966. While I must admit there is no concrete basis to these findings as I could be wrong on everything, it is still good to be prudent nevertheless, especially if there are plans to travel to earthquake or disaster-prone regions throughout 2025. After all, the intent of this video is to create an awareness to such possibilities so as to remind ourselves to consider some less riskier destinations throughout 2025, if ever there is a plan to travel. Just before I end this video, here is a picture extracted from a century-old classics, showing that soldiers releasing the fiery dragon arrows to their adversaries. Does the dragon word sound familiar to you? Will this indicate a more explosive year of the snake? Don't forget to subscribe us, and I'll see you in the next video.